Shabbat Shalom, everybody. So in this parsha, which I'm just going to start at the very beginning. It's Emor, right? The parsha is Emor, and the very first verse says, it said, "Say to the Kohanim." It sounds redundant, right? It says, "Say the Kohanim, the sons of Aharon, and tell them." So first it says, "Say Emor," and then it says, where's the other word? Emor and ve'emarta and tell, right? So say, tell, like that's the same thing. It's like say and tell. So our sages, break it down for us, bring in the idea of when it says something like this, when it says say and tell, it is it's talking to the leaders, to the parents, to anyone in authority, to teach the younger people these rules or these laws or this Torah, right? So whenever we hear that, this is what they have, come up with this reason for this, and so and it's not just younger people, but also maybe younger, newer people, like converts or something like that, someone who's new to learning Torah, and so that's how they understand this redundancy. So what's interesting in the Gemara, if you want exact, it's Yevamot 114a. It tells I guess it looks at this word, this repetition of say and tell, this phrase, and it sees this phrase happening at 3 different times in the Torah. And the 3 different times it tells it is for 3 different specific laws. So I think in this Torah portion, it's talking about the laws of purity and defilement. It says say and tell, and then it talks about purity and defilement laws. But in other places in the Torah, when it says that, it's talking about the whole prohibition of eating blood. And another time in the Torah, when it says that, it's talking about the prohibition of eating insects and swarming creatures. So you're wondering, oh, wow, these are kind of interesting, different things, right? One is purity, one's not eating blood, one's not eating insects or creatures. So you're wondering, well, maybe why is this? So once again, our sages have broken down this information for us, hopefully, and I trust them, I believe them, and so so the first one is only be steadfast in not eating blood. It's in Devarim. It's talking about not eating the blood, and it uses this expression rak chazek, so being like strong and not doing it, right? And this teaches us that when we're teaching it to new converts or to younger people, that it even kind of in a way it's saying that nobody is, even someone who does eat blood or does, and I put this in my own idea, that someone who does drink blood, at least back in those times, they were probably a very pagan, doing something religious, pagan religion type of thing, right? It's not just like, I don't think it's a common, well, maybe it was, but I think they oftentimes did it for a religious reason, not just to just drink blood. It still is a pagan thing to work with, to do with some stuff with blood, and to eat blood and to drink blood. And so someone who even doing some pagan practices, that the Torah is even for them. The Torah, to teach them, to teach someone to not drink blood, is to reach out, in a sense, to someone that's actually doing something pagan, is that's far away from Hashem, right? And so I guess the whole idea is that no one is beyond redemption, not even the pagan, right? Even he or she who's drinking this blood, we are to tell them not to drink the blood, right? When they're coming to the Torah, not just going out there. if they're interested in Torah learning, we teach them this, right? And the second time, it's talking about eating swarming creatures and things like that. So say and tell to your young people or new people, don't eat swarming creatures. So in this, I feel like this is like it's not someone that's necessarily doing something pagan, but more of they're just kind of more, I don't want to, I guess I'd say like maybe just at a lower level, right? They're eating whatever they see that they can eat, essentially. I would say even kind of animalistic in a way, because an animal will just go and eat whatever they can eat, right? They don't like, they're not too picky. Some animals are more picky than others, but they'll eat what they can eat. But the Torah teaches us, that we are elevated. We should be elevated, and we should eat only certain things. And it lists out those things that we should eat. And so, in this sense, when we're teaching to the common man or just the nations, we're teaching that they don't eat these things, that they can be elevated. And the second idea is that the Torah enlightens all people, enlightens anyone who studies it. And the third thing that we get from this saying and telling, about purity, these rules of purity and impurity, we're saying it and telling this to our children, to the new people, is that these are laws that are not necessarily rational laws, right? To touch something and become unclean, to touch something and become tamei, and then you have to become tahor. These are just not, like, in a sense, rational things. And growing up, I heard, this is, to be, you're being clean, to be clean so you don't get sick and that kind of thing. But some of these go even beyond that. They just go beyond to something like where someone touched something and then you touch it and then you become tahor. And we get a taste of this when we're cleaning for Pesach, and you have someone who's like very strict in Pesach cleaning, and you get this experience of, oh, that touched something that had chametz, and now all of a sudden it's chametz and we have to clean it again, kind of thing. And it's interesting, right? But it's, in a way, it kind of prepares you in a way for this time when we go to the temple and we have to be pure. And what are all the things that we have to do to make sure that happens, right? And so we teach this to our youth at a young age, so that they grow up knowing these things and learning them. And I like to also mention another thing that my wife brought to my attention. I don't know, I think it was during Pesach. It might have been a little bit after. But oftentimes when you're worrying about these other little minute details of the Torah, whether things are tamei, tahor, or the guarding the edges of Shabbat, all these different things that are like kind of I guess extra, or even the fence laws of the rabbinic fence laws that we oftentimes follow. You're kind of far away from like the major sins, breaking Torah sins, because you're worrying about these other little minute details. You're not even thinking about that major sin, or you're further away from that. So in a sense, it's a blessing, right? We're worrying about these little minor details, and we're far away from even breaking any kind of major Torah commandment. And in a sense, it's a blessing, right? It's a blessing to have these extra laws. So if we teach our children these specific rules and laws about purity, they'll grow up, and that will be like the things that they'll be worrying about, and be very far away from breaking any kind of major Torah commandments. And so I guess that, the challenge I give to you all here and those online is that that if you are a parent, or if you are in any kind, and we're in some leadership position in some point, so anybody who's like in any way to teach, to you learn Torah and teach it. And so I challenge everyone who that whatever Torah they know to teach it, to share it, to don't hold it, don't keep it captive, but let it free, right? Let it free to those around them, because just like the pagan that may be wanting to learn about Torah, no one is beyond redemption, just like the person who may not be eating clean meat but still wants to learn, he also can be enlightened if he learns Torah, right? Or he or she. And just like our youth, we teach them at a young age to teach these laws of purity that deal with their faith in Hashem, because there's no other reason for these other than to Hashem. They grow in this kind of thing. So, I encourage you all to teach those who can teach, those who are learning, continue to learn so that you can teach in the future. So that's my challenge to you. Shabbat Shalom.